Welcome to the Online Trainer Show, where we help fitness and nutrition pros take better care of their clients and build profitable businesses. I'm Jonathan Goodman, and as always, I'm joined by Amber Reynolds. We're happy you're here. Let's start the show. Yeah, buddy, welcome back to the Online Trainer Show. The question that we're answering today, not the answer that we're questioning. The answer that we're questioning today is why people use online training. This has to come down to the benefits of it. And an inauspicious start, Miss Amber.
This is a good omen. This is classic fashion for us.
We like good omens.
Right out the gate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good Omens was a fantastic book by Neil Gaiman, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Add it to my list.
He did it with Terry Pratchett. I've actually gotten back into reading more sort of fantasy and whatnot, more fiction. I find that I'm a much better person to be around if I have a good fiction book on the go.
Yeah, it's a lot more fun. I just picked up The Secret Lives of Color.
Ooh.
And it's like the story behind different, 75 different colors and hues and tints and how they came to exist and whatever. So that's my new fun book.
I feel like that would be really fascinating, but there's probably a lot of abuse of Native Americans and indigenous people involved.
I had not considered that. Thank you for being in the corner.
Well, I mean, where did all these colors come from? Right?
Great. Thanks. I'm going to go in with happy thoughts.
Go in with happy thoughts. Why do people choose online training? Think about what it used to be. Think about how fitness used to be. And I quote, I'm the trainer. I'm the John Goodman trainer circa 2009. This is kind of, this isn't obviously what I said to my clients, but this is kind of how my business ran, right? You must pay me to watch every step, count every rep, and if you don't show up at this exact location at this exact time, you're still going to pay me. It's not very convenient, is it?
Great deal.
Great deal. Hey, by the way, you're paying me for a service that's supposed to make your life better and more convenient and make you feel better and remove stress from your life. But in doing so, it's going to be a wildly inconvenient service for you to consume. Good deal. Business used to dictate fitness. It used to be very, very strict. You used to have to fit into the box to be able to do it. And as a result, I used to show, actually, Amber, I don't, again, you've never seen me present live. But I used to.
I want to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, whatever. You've talked to me enough. But.
It's true.
I mean, that's the thing, seeing me present live, when I present live, I'm basically just talking to a friend. I mean, I'm never going to present about anything that I don't know about. And so I just get up there and I just talk to people like they're my friends, and then I hope to be friends with them afterwards, at the bar or after the thing. And so I used to show in these presentations, I used to show a pie chart, and it's because I like pie, but also it's because I use the pie chart to represent everybody who could be a customer of the fitness industry, who could benefit fitness. And I was like, if you think about it, the way that we're doing things, the way that we have been doing things, serves one slice of the pie. And it's a pretty small slice of the pie, right? 10, 15% of people in our gyms. Even in wealthy, pretty healthy cities like Los Angeles, it's still a tiny percentage of people that go into the gym and are moderately active purposefully on an ongoing basis. And so we're clearly not doing a good enough job, and it's not for lack of information, it's not for lack of passion for people. It's purely just lack of options, right? Different options for different people. And I'll tell you a story about this. My sister spent some time with them last week. We had a great week off with them. And she was telling me that she started doing these bar classes, BARRE, I think it is. And yeah, and it's 100 reps on
Yeah.
I don't even know. You know more than me. So tell the people what the bar classes are then.
I love teaching bar because you demonstrate a few moves and you're and down and pulse up an inch, down an inch. And then you're okay, my butt's tired. I'm going to go check on everyone's form because I'm tired now. So anytime a bar teacher is okay, I'm going to go check form, it's actually because they're tired. Insider tip. And
you do a rep 100 times, right?
It's terrible. Yeah, these super small isolated movements, it works. It's fantastic. But man, is it rough.
Right. So my sister started to like these classes. And she said to me straight up, she's like, I would never do this in a gym. She's like, I'm confident. Like I'll go into a gym or work out in a gym. I've done all sorts of classes. So like, I would never do a bar class in a gym. But I'm quite happy doing it at home with my camera turned off on a live online class. And think about now, that's one more person that's found something that they love to do because there's a different delivery method. I think that's such a massive understated point of why people choose online training, and how you also need to think about, as the professional delivering your service, like, what is it about the people that are going to be consuming your service? Like, what do they want? What do they need? What are their constraints? How can you build your service so that it fits them? And this is a perfect example. So, for example, if you're teaching a program like bar classes online, maybe you actually, I mean, I don't know if this is true amongst everybody else. I have an N of one, which is my sister, right? But maybe you actually promote, and look, you could turn off the camera while you're on the class. You know, that might be, you know, going back to a couple episodes ago, we talked about the 2% that makes the 98% difference, the tip of the iceberg. That might be the tip of the iceberg. Like, you will love this class, and you can show up off camera if you want, and I can still instruct you. And then if you want to flip on your camera for a couple seconds, right, for me to check out form, that's fine. And then turn it off, right? I mean, there's the obvious benefits. So I think that, I mean, Amber, like, I think that is one of the major understated.
Yeah. Well, it allows for real life, right? Like, even like with my workouts, like I told someone, they're like, oh, we should work out together. No, I don't do that. I love to work out, but I don't do it around other people. I hate it.
Oh, really? So tell me about that.
Yeah. I curse, and I like am loud, and like I want to be able to be obnoxious and like not do that around other people, and I'm gross and I'm making faces, and like if I can't do that, it's not an effective workout for me.
Right.
And so like I'm just too self-conscious to relax around other people to work out. But also, like, it allows for real life. Like, I had a late start to my day. If I would have had to go to a real in-person trainer, like, I would have been screwed out of a session. Mm-hmm. So I'm ending up splitting up my workout today because that's real life for me.
Yeah.
So that's why I love what we do, is it's real life situations that we deal with, and it allows for that.
Real life workouts for real people.
Mm-hmm.
Right, life's messy. Yeah, I mean, one of my very good friends that I used to work with, his name is Manny Masudi, and he was a trainer with me on the floor. I mean, we worked together for 6 years, right? We grew up together. We met our girlfriends who are now our wives together, right? And we're still good friends. And this is one of the cool things about training on the floor, is you get tight with people that you work with. And he is the most extroverted extrovert you will meet. I know it's weird, isn't it? Yeah. No. But
I want to see you with an extrovert, like a really loud extrovert. That would be fascinating.
He's not loud and obnoxious. He's one of these guys where you cannot be around him and have a bad time. You cannot be around him and not smile. Like, he's just like the sweetest, most outgoing human being. Young, old, doesn't matter. And so his client runs the gamut. And he's been very, very successful. I mean, you know, I stopped training clients in 2012, right? And he's still training full time. He's charging, I don't know if he wants me to say this, but like, he's charging like $130, $140 an hour, and has a long wait list, and basically has to tell people, like, I could train you once every 2 weeks, even though you want to train me 3 times a week. So if that's fine, cool. But if not, go to somebody else. And so he's doing well, and he has no desire to become an online trainer, right? But like so many other people, COVID forced him to adopt technology. And this is one of the things that we're going to be talking about so much more in the coming months and even years. And you and I in our business is like, it's not about online training. It's about leveraging technology for the modern trainer, for the 21st century trainer. It's about being able to understand how technology augments the trainer and makes them better and allows them to offer a better service. Doesn't mean you have to be an online trainer. Right? And Manny's a great example of this. He's never going to be an online trainer. He's always going to be an in-person trainer. He doesn't send people programs. He doesn't have online services, nothing like that. But he has a little studio with one other Ian, one other person that I used to work with. They started a little studio, and his clientele, like I said, it runs the gamut, young, old, right? And so some of his clients are edging on elderly, I mean, in their 70s and 80s. And if it's snowy and icy outside, or a lot of people travel across the city to come to him, well, sometimes there's traffic. It's Toronto. There's always traffic in Toronto. But sometimes they're just late or something comes up. His clients are also busy people, so like stuff comes up. And now they can message him and be like, yo, Manny, I was on the road and it was packed and there's no way that I'm going to be there on time. So I turned around and I'm home now. Can we do this one over soon? And so now, online training, right? I do this with rabbit ears, which I realize is completely ineffective as a communication tool on a podcast.
But it's fun for
but it's fun for people who watch on YouTube. Online training means that he literally never misses a session. That annoyance, first of all, there's no stress on his client's side of traffic's bad, or I feel like it's dangerous to go outside for me today, or whatever, right? They just say, hey, we're going to do it from home today. Manny never misses a session. Nobody ever cancels. So the whole thing about like a 24-hour cancellation because a client gets caught up at work or at home or whatever basically doesn't happen. Because he's been able to adopt technology, and all he does is he just flips on the camera and he's like, hey, what's going on? I mean, I'm just making up a name. This isn't his client, but like, hey, what's going on, Stephanie? All right, let's do the workout today. What equipment you got? Right? Like, that is an extraordinary service. And so, you know, why do people choose online training? Like, if they don't feel comfortable going in the gym, either ever, you know, to your example, Amber, I think is a really good example. They found a program they do that for some reason they don't feel comfortable doing in groups, like a bar class or something like that. There's no scheduling issues, right? You don't got to show up at 5 p.m. on the dot. I always give the example of one of my clients, Tom, who was the chief of psychiatry at one of the major hospitals in Toronto. And I trained him Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. for years and years and years. And like, he showed up at 4:35, 4:45 every day. I mean, every time, on the dot. And it just wasn't a stress. But like, I'm going to go to him and say, hey, dude, it's unacceptable that you're coming in, you know, 10 minutes later, you missed the session. It's like, I have a feeling that something that happened in the emergency psych ward at the hospital is like probably more important. You know what I'm saying? So for him, it was very much he's perfectly fine if he's getting 30 minutes in. But it would have been way more convenient for him if I knew anything about online training at that point. You could offer accountability and support in ways that you could not otherwise. You know, all these people who go and say, oh, I just want to do a few sessions because I just want to get a program. Well, previously, you couldn't do anything about that. You know, I'd make the same amount of money whether I spent 5 hours building you a great program and then trained you once, or you just showed up one day on a whim and said, here, I'm going to give you money for a work, take me through a workout, count my reps. Well, now, your intellectual property, your intellect, your effort can be rewarded appropriately, which means that you have more space to be able to deliver a better service to your clients. Because at the end of the day, it's a client-centered business that you've got to build. That's how you're going to be successful. And then the final part. Oh, there's two more on my list here. Look, I've got a clipboard. Yes. Huh.
You were just so fancy.
Oh, I know. It's more cost effective, obviously, for a client. I think that goes without saying. Working out in a gym with a trainer is oftentimes a very inefficient, very expensive service, and it's simply not sustainable. A lot of the trainers that we work with are just extraordinarily good people. They really do want to help, and they decide that they want to adopt some sort of online training technology as a part of as all of what they do, simply to be able to help more people who might not be able to afford them one-on-one in the gym. And I think that's pretty cool. And then the final is they can work with the best. right? Which is where your marketing comes in, which is not the idea of this episode, but like listen to some of our other episodes. Like if you position yourself as the go-to for a certain group of people, that certain person will find you and will be more bought into your training because now they feel like they can work with the best anywhere in the world, really, but like anywhere, even within your same city, that they wouldn't have an option to otherwise. The lack of belief that somebody can achieve, the lack of self-efficacy in when somebody is working with a trainer who they just were paired with because they happen to walk into a gym at some point, you don't believe that that person is actually the right person to help you. And as a result, the trainer is working an uphill battle from day one. Most of a trainer's work, I don't know if you agree with this, Amber. Be interested to see if you do. Most of a trainer's work is done before they send a program.
Yeah, I mean, the relationship building, the trust the foundation that you lay before you even start working with them. Your client has to buy in, and if they didn't make a conscious decision to choose you, like you said, you're fighting an uphill battle. So when they have the option to choose someone who fits them personally, like immediately the chances of them succeeding are going to be significantly higher.
Yeah. That's an interesting point. I feel like we need to make another episode on that. You know, what are all the things that you need to do before you actually send a client a program in order to give yourself and that client the best chance of success? Because once you send the program, the majority of your hard work is actually done. I mean, we get this a lot. We've gotten this in our communities a few times, Amber, where people feel guilty that their clients have had success, and as a result, they're still paying the trainer, and the trainer doesn't have to do very much work. And then the trainer is like in a group, like, what can I do to serve them? What can I do? It's like, you've done what you need to do. Like, first of all, now you reap the rewards of all the hard work that you did before, but your client's happy. Like, at the end of the day, you're providing a service, right?
And getting a result, which is what they're getting, which is what they paid for. So, yeah, we see a lot of misplaced guilt, no question.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why people choose online training. There's a lot of benefits. And the biggest part about this question to me is it doesn't have to be just online. It certainly doesn't have to be far away. In fact, the best online training is often some sort of hybrid approach where they're leveraging technology and working with people locally in a more effective way by using technology.
Yep, love it. I would actually be really curious for our listeners to send me a message to hear what they've run into, because I know we've only kind of touched on a few things. So if there's something that we missed about what you've noticed as a reason for people to choose online training, I would certainly be interested to hear that, whether it's in our groups or if you email me, amber@theptdc.com. I would love to hear your thoughts. And then that's it for today. That's all we got. And successful episode, I think. Minimal issues. So, yay us. And that is it. Bye.
Bye-bye.